Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I will be solving the simple CTF challenge of Try Hack Me. I have already solved the challenge once, so I just wanted to shoot a video on what I've done to find the answers. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First thing we notice is the challenge is asking us a lot more than the user and root flags. So the first question starts with with asking how many ports are running under 1,000. So let's start with a simple nmap scan. For this, I will be using the nmap scan that I have within my notes. Let's export the target first. And do our nmap scan. So the first two things that we notice is there's an HTTP. The HTTP port is open and FTP port is open. While the nmap is doing its thing, we can go ahead and check what's going on with the website. So the website is displaying a default Apache 2 Ubuntu page. Let's check the page source. So the page source does not help us in any way. The first thing that I do when I notice the FTP port is open would be checking if the anonymous login is allowed. So let's go ahead and do that while the map is still scanning. For this, we will be doing FTP and then the IP address. Name would be anonymous. And we can see that the anonymous login is allowed. Let's see. Okay. Let's turn off the passive mode by typing passive. You can now see that the passive mode is off. So let's go ahead and look for. Okay. We see that there is a pub directory. And here we can see that there is a txt file that is named for Mitch. Let's get that. So let's read the for Mitch txt file. It says, "Damn it, man, you are the worst dev I have seen. You set the same pass for the system user and the password is so weak. I cracked it in seconds. Gosh, what a mess." Okay. So what can we get from this? One, the password is so weak. It might be like default, anything like admin password or anything like that. And it says I cracked it. So the person who wrote this has easily cracked it or brute forced it in seconds. So in order to, and also as it says for Mitch, I get that the username would be Mitch and we would be try and brute force the password. While we're doing that, I'm gonna also check the nmap port scan. So it discovered 3 ports that are FTP, HTTP, and Ethernet IP1 on port 2222. We can see here on the service scan that it's an open SSH. So it's an SSH port. So this gives us a couple of the answers. The first question is asking how many servers are running on port 1000, and we can see that there are 2 ports that are running under the port 1000. The second question is what is running on a higher port, meaning port 2222, and we can see that it's an SSH service running on this port. The third question is asking what's the CVE you're using against the application, to what kind of vulnerability is the application vulnerable. So we don't know any application yet, so I'm gonna pass these to later. So the fifth question is asking what the password is. For this, what we're gonna do is, we know that the SSH port is open, and we found a txt file named for Mitch, and that it can be brute forced. So what I will do is I will use Hydra for the username Mitch and try to get the password for it. So again, this is the command that I will be using. Hydra-L for the username Mitch. I will use the simple rocku txt file, the word list, for the port 2222 T4, and it will be SSH with the IP address of our machine here. So let's go ahead and do that. And also, I want to do a GoBuster scan on the website. So, okay, before we do that, we already got the password. Let's answer this question right away. Where can you log in with the details obtained? I will try logging into SSH. So let's go ahead and try it. So we're using SSH. The username is Mitch, and the IP address is this, and the port is 2222. And as you can see, we are logged in as the user Mitch. We will use this for, okay, let's see. Where can you log in with the details obtained? It's SSH. So the first thing we're going to look for is the user flag. But before I dive into it, I also want to do a GoBuster scan on the website to see if there is anything we can find. Again, I will be using the options that I have within my notes. But before we do that, I'm going to export the target. The IP of the machine is 10.10.57.7. So let's go ahead and do a GoBuster scan with the setlist's word list and save this to our folder. And while our scans are running, let's go ahead and find what we can do with the SSH password that we got. So let's do, okay, the user flag is located directly in the directory that we're in. So let's go ahead and cat the user file. And with this we get our first flag. The other question is asking, is there any other user in the home directory? What's its name? Let's see. So we can see that the other user is named Sunbath. Let's see what's inside the Sunbath. Okay, we cannot. And now we have to find a way to escalate our privileges. For this, the first thing that I would do would be checking which commands the user Mitch can run as root. For this, we do sudo -l, and this shows us that this user can run vim, the command vim, as root. So if we make a quick research on how to escalate our privileges with this information, we can find out that we can just go ahead and type sudo user bin vim and run vim as sudo. While we are in, we can go ahead and do bash, and boom, that would spawn a root shell right away. So with this, what can you leverage to spawn a privileged shell? The answer is vim. And finally, the root flag. Let's see what's inside. Ooh. Let's check the root folder. Okay. The root flag is located within the root folder. So let's go ahead and read it. And this would be the answer for the root flag. And now we're back on these two questions. So if we check the hint, it says an issue was discovered in CMS Mate Simple 2.2.8. It is possible with the news module through a crafted URL to achieve unauthenticated blind time-based SQL injection via the M1 ID list parameter. So it says that there is an app. The application mentioned is CMS Made Simple. And the other question is asking what kind of vulnerability. Well, we do not use the SQL injection and to find a password. I have used another method. So let's go ahead and find the answers for these two questions. For this, we're going to have a look at the GoBuster scan that we've done. The GoBuster scan tells us that there is a path named simple. So let's go ahead and check that. So this brings up the homepage for CMS Made Simple. Right here under below the page, we can see that the version is 2.2.8 and the application name is CMS Made Simple. So let's do a quick Google search on the vulnerability that this version has. And the first result from the NIST would give us the answer that we need. Okay, So if you have a look at the so if you have a look at the exploit database, we can see that the versions that are previous to 2.2.10 has an SQL injection vulnerability. So this would answer our last question. That is SQLI. Oops, I made a typo. And with this, we would complete the simple CTF challenge. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more CTF walkthroughs and study sessions.